Just trying out different words and stuff and expressions, really, and pronouns. I think there's a stigma around, experimenting with that stuff, but how are you going to know how it feels to be called he, him, or whatever if you don't try it? So I don't really know what word I would use to describe my gender now, because I feel kind of non-binary male, I guess. But if words matter to you, then try out different ones, and if they don't, then you don't have to pick a word to describe what you are. I wrote them a letter. It was 3 pages long. I typed it out, and I put it in sections, and I had a section of scientific evidence, just because I was oh, maybe they won't believe me or whatever. I had a section that was how I felt in the past, how I feel now, and what I want for the future, and what I needed from them, kind of thing. And yeah, just setting things out like that made it easier to kind of compile my thoughts, made it easier for them to read it in their own time and process it. And I would highly recommend doing that, because it's good to assume that people you come out to don't know anything about what you're talking about. It hasn't really. I've been very lucky. I was very worried about that when I started, so I made sure that I started on a very low dose that increased very slowly, and I got a vocal coach who was used to teaching boys who were going through their voice dropping, and also just reminded myself that people's voices drop all the time, and it's normal, and it doesn't ruin your voice. It just gives you a different voice. But it happened very slowly for me, and I also did vocal exercises beforehand. My voice was already pretty low, so yeah, just slow and steady. It was the way to go. Yes, I am on the NHS. I'm at a gender clinic in Northampton. I was very fortunate to have started my process early on, I guess. The wait times were still pretty unbearable. It was very hard, but it is worse now. It was just a frustrating long time, lots of waiting, lots of the same questions, lots of and I kind of went through it from the ages of 15 to 18, so I was at that changeover into moving to adult services. So yeah, there was a lot of waiting, lots of moving around, very frustrating, but happy to be on the other side of it mostly. That's a great question. That's something that I took a long time to come to terms with. I think it helps to just surround yourself with people who are masculine in a feminine way, or people who are like you in that sense, I guess. If you have a bunch of friends who are super masculine, kind of toxic masculinity, it's gonna be upsetting for you. If you can't find friends like that, just finding people online that you look up to who are open about the femininity is helpful, and just experimenting with clothes and stuff, and seeing what makes you feel most comfortable and happy, and doing it on your own in your own space, so you're not judged or anything. Yeah. I totally get it. I understood why people were discussing me, but it was frustrating because I wasn't ready to talk about it, and I didn't know how to tell. Because if I was yeah, you're right, but stop talking about it, then that would be, I wasn't ready to say that. So it was weird. If you think someone has something personal going on, keep it to yourself. I've always been very happy to be able to sing songs for people like me, I guess. It made me feel like seen, and for the most part everyone was very respectful of me not wanting to share stuff or whatever. Yeah, I've never minded it. I think it's cool. It is scary and upsetting, obviously. I think I'm privileged and maybe not the right person to speak on this, even though I'm choosing to answer this question. But yeah, I'm obviously like quite separated from it. A lot of it is happening in, like, the law stuff is happening in the US. I guess I'm there a lot, so that will affect me, which is scary. But I'm trying to kind of be hopeful about it. I feel like our community has been through like numerous setbacks over the years, and I'm hoping this is just another one of those that eventually gets kind of like, it just becomes history and we can move forward. I think, yes, I could keep going, but yeah. I don't think so. I don't think like legally I'm going to be stopped from playing shows in places. I worry more about the safety of the people who come to the shows. But if that means we just have to like accommodate for that and get more security or something, make sure that everyone's safe, then that's something I will absolutely do. Yes, of course. I think that's a normal response to it, like being worried at what people will think of you or people see you differently. But it's good to just remember that that is their business. How they choose to respond and process it is out of your control. It's going to be what it is. So I don't know, try and focus more energy on what you can do for yourself and how you can protect yourself if those things happen. Honestly, I prefer to just not. Well, first of all, I don't identify as gay, but I prefer to just not tell people. Like my closest friends, now I just didn't tell them. I just introduced myself as male, and they've kind of figured it out on their own. But I think that's like a good litmus test for like a good friend. If they're gonna have a problem with it, or if they're gonna be like make a big deal out of it when they find out, then they're not really a cool person. All my best friends now, I never like officially like came out to them. They just figured it out and were like, okay, cool, whatever, who cares. I see a lot of people asking how being aro and ace like feels to me. Since I have a girlfriend, some people are like confused about how that works. I mean, it's different for everyone. There's different kinds of love. It's good to remember that. For me, romantic love kind of is, it comes and goes out of my control. And also just like the way I've experienced crushes in the past, is very different to how people around me have talked about them. I've never gotten like, oh, you see someone, you immediately have a crush on them, or like you don't know anything about them personally, you're not like friends, but you have a crush on them. I've never experienced that. I don't really understand that. I think for me, it takes a long time for me to like establish a connection first, and then I feel romantic. I think they knew. I didn't really talk to anyone at school, so I don't know. Yeah, I was just kind of scared of being made fun of or whatever. I don't know if that was like a valid concern because I didn't really know people very much, but I like tried to like distance myself from everyone for my like protection, I guess. There were a couple of times where people would like make comments in the hallway, like people like found out from my Twitter at one point when I was like, I don't know, 14, and that was a little distressing, but nothing crazy. I've been lucky enough. I mean, kind of in a sad way, I guess, because I just isolated myself, so no one had the opportunity to be transphobic to me, I guess. Don't do that. But yeah. Yes, I think, yes, I do feel that I have felt that way, especially when I'm with someone who is not, and I feel like I'm not being a good partner or something. But it's good to find someone who understands that you being aro doesn't mean you don't love them, and, you know, communicating with them on, like, how you show love and what your love language is and what they need, and being able to kind of focus more on, like, love languages and, like, how to show love when maybe you don't feel comfortable, like, being physical with someone or whatever. Yeah. Yes. I think it can do, but it's more about your genes. If you just think about, like, cis men going through puberty, their hair will change depending on, like, I think you get your hair from your mom's side. Luckily, my mom's side has very hairy men, very good hairlines, but, like, if your mom's side of the family has, like, a receding hairline or has thin hair or thick hair or whatever, then that's a good way to predict what might happen to you. It's a little intimidating, honestly. I obviously I'm not in control of how you guys view me or, like, see me as an icon or whatever. But I also feel lucky to be able to hold a place in the music industry where I can, you know, show people that they can be themselves and show people that it's possible to do what I do if you're trans or if you're gay or whatever. I think there's more and more people like that showing up in the music industry and stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool and also a little intimidating because I want to do the right thing for everyone. I never did, but I think it's very normal if that does cross your mind. It's obviously, like, a big thing to choose to go through. But just, like, I don't know, if someone's getting married, they might get cold feet the day before, but that doesn't mean they don't want to do it and that it won't be the right thing. So I think, yeah, however you feel about it is normal and fine. You guys are so normal. Sure. I went down to Brighton. I did it privately because I wanted a specific surgeon who wasn't doing NHS stuff anymore. So it was a very comfortable hospital, which was nice. Everyone there was very nice to me. I stayed one night. I didn't have any complications. Very, very smooth process. I didn't even need drains, which was surprising to me because I got double incision, and usually you get drains for that. But he was like, "Nah, you're fine," and I was fine. I did have to wear a very tight compression vest for like a week afterwards. So I stayed local so that I could be around if anything went wrong. And my friend came and supported me, and she was really nice. And yeah, it was fine. It was cool. Thanks. I think it's worth like exploring that, like asking yourself why you're embarrassed. and maybe where that comes from, who in your life has taught you that you should be embarrassed, and, you know, questioning that. Definitely let yourself feel that if that is what you feel, and surround yourself with people who are like you, and, you know, that if you surround yourself with people who are also gay and you don't think that they should be embarrassed, then over time, then hopefully that will help you change the way you see yourself. I chose it with my mom. I asked her what she might have called me if I'd been born male, or just like other names that she liked. My middle name, Daniel, was one that they might have called me, and we both just liked the name Robin, because it's like me, I'm a little ginger bird. Yep. It's literally fine. It was upsetting at the time, but I think it's been better for me. I think the reason that I didn't talk about my gender and stuff too much before was because of some like internalized transphobia and stuff, and having to be more open about it has helped me get past that, and I'm glad it happened. I'm okay with like baby photos and young kid photos, but I think a lot of trans people get this thing where it's like you have like a window in your life that you cannot bear to face. For me, it's like around like 11 to 15, where I just do not recognize them, and I just look sad and ugly to myself, and I don't like it.